While the US government is struggling to avoid a debt default, in Britain, the deep austerity cuts the government made just over a year ago to try to arrest its economic problems are biting. Economists estimate that economic growth for the last quarter fell to just 0.02%. The British government is blaming seasonal effects and the Japanese earthquake for exacerbating the effects of the budget tightening, but the opposition says it's time to reassess the austerity policies. In London, Lisa Miller reports.
The British public doesn't need to hear the statistics to understand just how tough things are.
I say we begin to feel the pinch. We have to be a bit careful now.
We're getting by, still got a job, which is the most important thing. So I think that's about all that counts these days.
I buy stuff that I need now instead of stuff that I want. That's the main difference, I think.
Britain's economy grew at 0.02% in the last quarter, down from 0.05% the previous quarter. Jason Karaian is with the Economist Intelligence Unit.
There will be more quarters in the future that disappoint, like we've seen today, and I think that's what the UK is in for.
But even in the face of another downturn, the British Finance Secretary, George Osborne, was looking for a silver lining.
Well, there's positive news today, which is the economy is growing, we're creating jobs, and crucially, at a time when many other countries in the world face a lot of instability, we're providing stability in Britain and we're a safe haven in the storm.
George Osborne says the unseasonable warm weather in April and the Japanese earthquake all had a detrimental impact, and he's even blaming this. While the British took a public holiday to celebrate William and Kate's wedding, the country's economy took a dive. But those arguments are falling flat, with Labour's spokesman Ed Balls.
This is a flatlining economy, and I'm afraid, look, there is a global hurricane brewing around the world, but in a hurricane, the last thing you do is rip out the foundations of your own house. That's what George Osborne did with his VAT rise and these deeply fast spending cuts. And the result is, for families up and down the country, jobs at risk, living standards squeeze, investment being cancelled. This is very, very concerning indeed.
George Osborne is convinced there's no need for a change of policy.
But the whole government is absolutely committed to the plan we're on, which is to deal with Britain's debts. Everyone knows Britain's got a debt problem. Everyone can see that other countries that haven't dealt with their debt problems have got themselves into trouble. And what you can also see from today's economic numbers is that the economy is growing, jobs are being created, and that's good news.
But the British are anxiously watching the US, knowing that if debt isn't reduced and a default takes place, the UK will feel even more pain. Jason Karaian again from the Economist Intelligence Unit.
Certainly the UK is struggling with the austerity measures that have been introduced in order to right its fiscal state, but also there are very significant deleveraging issues that will be ongoing for years in the UK, built up lots of private and public debt, and it will take some time for that to be paid down, and in the meantime that will definitely hold down growth.
If the US did default, what would that mean for Britain?
Well, it would mean a lot for a lot of countries, but certainly for Britain, which has a very large financial sector, it could be hit perhaps harder as some other countries. The U.S. Treasury market is the deepest and most liquid securities market out there. It's the essential collateral for a wide range of very important global financial markets, and certainly things like the short-term interbank lending market, which much of which comes through London, would be affected because that is the main collateral that banks use to borrow overnight, say. And as we saw when Lehman Brothers collapsed in 2008, when the interbank lending markets are under stress, it has all kinds of very wrenching real-world implications in terms of companies and private people's ability to borrow and the ability of financial systems and economics to really function.
And that's Jason Karaian speaking to Lisa Miller in London.